Hello and welcome. My name is Jessica Gem. In today's video, I drew some OCs of Teeny_CEH on TikTok as a gift. She has these super cute OCs, Aiden and Mazie, that she uses for skit memes and stuff like that. And they're a little unhinged, so I thought it would be fun to draw them for her birthday. I thought I had a very specific style idea in my head for this one, so the process I went about was with the goal of leading to that. The first thing I did was gather some reference and draw their appearances in my interpretation. They're in a small pencil sketch chibi form in almost all of the videos they're in, but there is one finished piece of them that I could use for a bit more detail of their hair and face. I did end up mostly sticking to my interpretation of the chibis though, since the hair in the full piece is a little more realistic, and the style I envisioned was a lot more shapy and cartoony. I also decided to add Teeny herself, because I love turning myself into a character, and I know that she loves it too. So I did a sketch of her with features and proportions that combined her real look with the way that I had drawn the others, and I think it works really well. In the sketch phase, I also designed little outfits for them, based on the bit of the tops that I could see, and then made up the rest as well as Teeny's full fit. For some reason, the whole time I was imagining this, I couldn't get the look of striped leggings on Mazie out of my head, so of course got that in there. And the rest kinda went with a goth, punk look with rips, net tights and gloves, and various quote-unquote edgy accessories. I also made Teeny into a bit of a cat girl because apparently that's what feels right when I draw her. The graphic I used for her shirt is also a reference to an awesome animatic that she made to the song Happy Face, which will be linked below along with her other socials. Anyways, Aiden and Mazie both have one main color that's used for their hair and eyes, so I decided to keep the same theme with Teeny's design, making her the peach pink she likes. I then just kind of placed the three colors throughout the designs to keep it all very limited in what I used aside from the skin tones, though even those don't stray too wildly from the overall palette. I'm not very good at fully solidifying the visuals I have in my head. I more just get rough glances of certain parts and not a full vision. But one of the things that stuck in my mind was an extreme low angle. I thought it would be fun and dramatic, and also have the crazy villain has caught you and is looking down on you. You are in danger kind of energy because, as I mentioned, they're kinda unstable. Speaking of the vision in my head, as I mentioned, it was also very shape-based, so I tried to go a bit crazy with the anatomy. Giant chunky feet, bendy arms, and blob hands because, ew, hands. When I was happy with the sketch, I moved on to figuring out how I wanted to do the line art, and oh boy, did this give me trouble. I tried 7 different little tests before I had to take a break for a day because I just couldn't get it how I wanted. In the end, I actually used a brush that I didn't even test the day before anyway. The problems didn't stop there though. Once I was finally happy enough with the lines, I moved on to color, and again, the tiny flashes I had in my head just weren't enough information to properly transfer onto the canvas. I think I imagined softer lines, more muted colors, and a kind of painterly style that I just wasn't able to get anywhere near this time around. I ended up picking a hard pixelated brush and fairly vibrant colors after a lot of futzing about. Even the rendering, which is normally one of my most comfortable phases, didn't go how I hoped. I tried tons of different shading and lighting styles, trying to make it all dark and spooky and cool to be all dramatic, but nothing quite fit. And that's when I finally decided to just go with my instincts, instead of clinging so desperately to such a weak image in my head. I went bright, vibrant, colorful, sharp. I fully leaned into basically the opposite of what I had been trying to do all along, and it worked so much better. I had been struggling with this piece for nearly a week, trying to make it look a certain way that I hadn't even figured out and don't know how to pull off. But sometimes that's where the best results come from in art. Letting loose and going with where the colors and creativity take you. I made a blocky border, used some cool screen tones that I found while I was trying desperately to make it look good, and used those as a really neat shadow style. Added some tone variation with a warm yellow to contrast all the cooler shades, and make the peach pink pop a bit more, and adjusted them before adding a bit of a white border. Now it's a crazy cool illustration. She really liked it and said that it looked like it was straight out of an anime game. So it turned out in the end. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the journey of this piece. If you enjoyed this video, please grant me a like, and if you'd like to see more of my art, subscribe to join me. That's all for now, so farewell and have a wonderful day.